demonstration. Anyways, I'll share my LinkedIn profile later on by closing. Now, let me introduce myself. My name is Abdulhafiz, and I've been into industry more than 14 years now. I'm a corporate trainer. I deliver a lot of batches for Microsoft as a lead instructor. I deliver many batches in India, Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, Mumbai. I keep traveling, and even I travel to Oman and recently I traveled to Bahrain. Okay, so a couple of countries I visited for a training delivery. Other than that, I also worked as a consultant. A couple of projects I delivered as a freelancer, and I also help. I also take the public batches, so where I have trained more than 100 individuals from the different background. When we say background, it's all about the domain they work. They are freshers, they are senior managers, so multiple different audience I work with. These are some companies I have delivered training for. And these are some vendor partner I worked with, if you might be aware of Upgrad and Simply Learn and all those. So I keep delivering the training for them. I'm a Microsoft certified trainer. Since last 4 years, I'm getting this badge from Microsoft. And I'm a Power BI trainer, Power BI certified individual, as well as I did certification on the Power Platform as well. I got this skill level 250 student reach from Microsoft for my training delivery for Microsoft as a lead instructor. I have some good feedback. You can go ahead and check it out, my LinkedIn page for the same. Perfect. So let's talk about Power Platform. Okay. So before we get into what Power Platform is, let's talk about what is low code. Why there is a buzz in the market for a low code. Now, before I get into this, let me talk about the certain scenario which recently I encountered with. So what happened, sometime back, I went to Bangalore for one of the training delivery. And I think you maybe might have seen this earlier. What used to happen when you visited a company, so they put down your details, like your name, your government, like PAN card, for example, or your Aadhaar card number. Then what they did is the representative or the guy at the reception, they ask you to vet. Then they call to the concerned person from the company, and then they will make you to that particular room, and then you will meet to that person. So that is what the traditional way of getting for a schedule interview or getting into the meeting for one of the company. Now, what happened to that particular meeting or that particular training delivery? When I went to that company, there was a tablet, and I need to put down my details, and there was a photo has been taken, and I just clicked enter. So what had happened? I have selected the concerned person name. Let's say, for example, I want to meet Saif. So I have chosen his name from that drop down, and I said enter. So what happened is automatic an email went to that person, the concerned person, and he got notified. And as soon as I arrived, he also got into that particular meeting room. Okay, so there is no manual intervention happened in that particular case. Okay, so that is what the companies are doing right now. Now, one more scenario. Recently, what happened? I went to Bahrain for one of the training delivery, and I was visiting one of the biggest mall there, city center mall. Now, I was like, it's a very big mall, and I wanted to look for the Carrefour. Carrefour is like a D-Mart. Okay, so I wanted to go to that particular shopping mall, shopping center, I would say. So, and it was a bit confusing, it's a very big mall, and not really, I was aware of the, what you can say, the direction for it. So what they did is they installed the tablets, and you need to search for the shopping mall or shopping center or whatever shop you want to visit. Then they will guide you, like go to ground floor, go right, take left, like that. They have navigated basically in that tablet. So that was really amazing. So small apps are there, and they are really useful for our daily needs. That is what I wanna conclude here, right? There are small apps, and that is what has been helpful for individuals for their day-to-day life. Now, very similar way, we have something called as applications, the apps basically. Okay. Now, how do we do it, and what is the process of it, and what was the traditional way of doing it? So let's start with the low code and the traditional development. So the low code development is more focused on GUIs. GUIs, in a sense, the visuals basically, drag and drop concept. So I think it is, you may be heard about it, drag and drop. So like for example, Power BI, the BI tool. What we have is a drag and drop. You just drag the visual, put down the columns into it, and it will be showcasing the values to you. So same concept is there. So what we can do, we can create a small application by just doing the drag and drops. No hard coding required. Okay, that is where the companies are heading towards nowadays. So the low code applications, they uses GUIs, whereas in the traditional development, you have to be very strong in the coding languages. Basically, you have to be very codolic. Okay, now it requires very minimum knowledge. Okay, some steps you need to know, and that's it. You don't require to have the functions, the calling one function into another function, so nothing much needed. Whereas in traditional way, you need to be very what you can say, a core hardcore developer or hardcore uh, uh, framework associate basically. In the low code, it is very easy to maintain actually. Okay, so let's say I wanted to create an app. Let's talk about Amazon app in your mobile. So let's say you're an owner of Amazon and you want to create that app. So you have to create the three application of it, because you have to create it, one for iOS, let's say Apple users, one for Android users, and one for, let's say, Windows users. So three different application you need to create. Whereas what happened in the low code development, it is platform independent. So you just need to create one app and that will run across the platform. You need not to be very much out, like, care about the platforms. So let's say tomorrow, if there is a change happen, if there is an update you need to put down, do it at one time, and that's it. It will available to all the users, whichever platform they're using. Whereas in traditional way, you need to create a separate app for each of the application or each of the operating system. For Android, it is a separate, iOS separate, Microsoft separate. So separate app you need to maintain, you need to upgrade. So a lot of cost and what we can say time has been involved. This one will be quickly been implemented and quickly been shared with the other people. So that is where the low code application are booming in the market nowadays. Just quick an example for the same is Canva. So in Canva, you can create a beautiful website, a lot of stuff you can do in a click of a button. Whereas if you want to go hardcore, Photoshop would be the answer for the same, or example for the same. But again, guys, obviously the Photoshop is hardcore of it, or it is what you can say, you can create like uh, you can create a robust application. It is for not the small application, it is for a big enterprise system, I would say. Okay, so small apps you can go ahead with the low code, but when it comes to the hardcore of website or a big application, then go ahead with the traditional development. Now, as I mentioned, people are more focusing on the low code nowadays. So let's go ahead and let's talk more about low code. Now, time consumption is very less in the low code than the, okay, guys, we'll take the questionnaires after the session. Let me complete, and then we'll discuss about the whatever the questions you have. Now, as I mentioned, time consumption in the low code is very less compared to the traditional one. Cost is less. it is quickly been implemented. So let's say if there are changes happening, you can do that quickly and resubmit it to the users. Now there are again the same thing. So I'm skipping this. So reducing the cost have frequently been what you can say effortlessly been introduced. Many positives are there. Now, what is Power Platform? Actually, there are multiple tools already there in the market, but this is from Microsoft and this is booming in the market nowadays. Now, Power Platform is actually a combination of two different tools. These are all totally independent tools altogether. So we have Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI, and Power Pages. Now, in this four tools, Power BI is actually a separate tool. It's a very big tool, to be honest. So a lot of data visualization techniques you can do in this particular one. So it is a little separated from this three, but these are collectively called as Power Platform, these four tools. Okay. Now, if you want to get the mastery, so these two tools you have to be very much aware of, Power Apps and Power Automate. This is not that great for now. Maybe in future it will get some more, what you can say, some more attention from the people. But anyways, let's talk about these three first. So Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI. Now they can work individually and they can work collectively as well. So both the way they work. Now let's talk about each of them in detail. Now, Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power Pages, as I mentioned, they collectively called as a Power Platform. And additionally, we have something called as a AI Builder capabilities, Dataverse, Power Platform, or Power FX formulas. Now, what they are, let's go ahead and discuss about it. Now, Power Apps is a application where we can create a small application like the way I have given you example, like the navigator basically. Second example, it could be the employee timesheet. Okay, if you want to put down the timesheet, you can create an app using Power Apps. Whereas what is Power Automate? So it will automate your work basically. Let's say each Friday, let's say I'm a manager and let's say you guys are my team. And on each Friday, 4 p.m., I want everyone to be given a reminder to fill their timesheet. How can I do that particular one? I cannot put down that to individual one. So what I need to do is, let's say I want to trigger an email every Friday, 4 p.m. Please fill your timesheets. Okay, so that particular part I can do with Power Automate. So again, guys, I'm just giving a simple basic example. There are a lot of stuff you can do basically. So I'll be actually demonstrating a certain good example as well. Now, Power BI, as I mentioned, it's like a wider tool. It's for the data visualization. So how can you visualize your data? How can you take a strategic decision based out of your data? So that you can do in the Power BI. And finally, we have the Power Pages. So what is Power Pages? So it is like creating a website, a simple website. So I think you might have heard about WordPress. Okay, so Wix is there. So where you can drag and drop and create your own website. So similar to that, we can create a website by using Power Pages. Additionally, we have certain tools called as a Copilot, which is again an AI-based, Microsoft AI-based tool. Power FX is the formulas basically, like the Excel. Some formulas I'll show you. Then we have AI Builder. So let me give an example basically. So it has AI capabilities. So let's say, for example, there are, what you can say, let's say there are invoices. Invoices are in the physical format, physical copies, and that you want to process, that you want to read, and you want to store in the system. So that stuff you can do with the help of AI Builder. So it will read your physical copy and get the information and put down that in the system. So that is what the AI Builder can do. But again, it's a premium one. It requires additional licensing. Then we have Dataverse. This is again a very important component of Power Platform. So Dataverse, consider that as the database. Okay, so you can store the data inside the Dataverse. Then we have connectors, so you can connect to a lot of different data sources, a lot of different websites. You can connect data sources. You can connect many things. You can do. Again, there are free connectors. There are paid connectors. So I'll be touching base on that as well. To manage environments, again, you can create different environments for your application. Now, let's talk about more on the Power Apps or the each individual tool. So Power Apps, we can create application. As I mentioned, Amazon in our mobile is an application. Redbus is an application. Similar to that, we can create an application in the Power Apps. Then we have Power Automate. So as I mentioned, you can automate the process. So let's say, let me talk about one of the automation I did initially in my career. When I was on KPIT, there was a requirement to put down the data inside the ERP. So there is an Excel file where we have a data. That data has to be put down in a system. So that we have done using the VBA code that time. So similar task you can do. Means there's a repetitive task every time you need to do that you can automate by using the Power Automate tool. So it has many things. So I'll be actually demonstrating Power Apps and Power Automate tool. Then, as I mentioned, Power BI, same thing I'm repeating, guys. So I will be showing you one of the dashboard which I have created using the data, any data like Excel data, SQL data, whatever data you have that you can connect with Power BI and showcase the beautiful visuals so that the end users can take a strategic decision out of it. And finally, Power Pages. So you can create the web pages like the, as I mentioned earlier, right? Like the WordPress website that you can create in the Power Pages. AI Builder, just now I told you about it. So let's say even what you can do in the AI Builder is, let's say there are images and it has some certain particular, let's say bottles are there. There's an image with the bottles, and in that bottle we have, let's say, row abza, for example. So how many quantities of bottle are there? How many row abzas are there in that image? That all thing it can capture, it can read, and it can like store in the database or a Dataverse. So that capabilities we have the AI builders. And again, I'm repeating Dataverse. As I mentioned, it is storage basically. It's a huge storage with a very good security involved in it. Multiple things are available in the Power Platform. Now, again, guys, because we have less time, so let me quickly take you to the Power Apps, and then we will get into the actual demonstration of it. Give me a moment. Now, what is Power Apps? As I mentioned, it is the low-code application where which can run on the multiple different platforms. It is a platform as a service, and we can connect 1,000+ connectors. Okay. Now, it has the GUIs, like as I mentioned, the controls. You can drag and drop, and you can create the GUI. And there's an AI is also involved in it. So let me get directly to the Power Apps and let me show you how what we can do. So here I have an Excel file with the name called as a product list on my on my desktop. In the download folder, there's a product list folder, and it has this particular file. Now I wanted to connect to this, and I wanted to create an app out of it. Now, as I mentioned, Power Apps is having the capability to connect to that data and create an app. Give me a moment. All right. Now, see, guys, there's something called as a co-pilot. Now, what is co-pilot? Co-pilot is a AI for the Microsoft technologies, basically. So basically, it is like a chat GPT. Chat GPT, what chat GPT used to do, it will search the data from entire word, entire word data, basically. But Copilot will be searching the data within the Microsoft systems. So if you ask a Copilot who won the, let's say, ICC Champions Trophy, it won't be gonna give you answer because it is not designed for it. It is designed for just Microsoft data, whatever data we have within the Microsoft system, within your, what you can say, your organization data, that only it can access. Now, what I want to do is I wanted to connect to that file by using Power Apps, and I want to create an app with the same. So let me click, let's say, start with Copilot. Here I can design my table, or let's talk about, let's directly pull the data. So I'm selecting the data. I'm going here and product list. This is the file I have selected, and let's see what happens. Now, this will gonna be automatically fetching the data and it will create an app for me. So see, it has a read my data. It has these many columns, and let's say save and open an app. So as a end user or as a layman, I need not to be very much aware of the coding and everything. The system is doing for me. Okay, so that is what the AI part of it. So it will take some time. Again, guys, there are two types of users. So there are business users who want the, what you can say, the application to be created for them by their own. So in that case, they can go ahead and they can use the Copilot. See how nicely it has created the app for me. So I haven't done anything and it has created an app for me. Let me run it and let me show you. And see here, it is showing me detail for speakers to this particular number, basically 2500. Now, again, this is showing for this. Now, let's say I want to add something new. So what I can do is I just click on new and I can put down the notes. Let's say testing mobile, maybe then product code, let's say. So guys, it is read and write. So I have read the information from that system and I'm writing it now. Let's say uh, some information I put down and I said enter. And see guys, the information which I have put down is now available here. Now I can go ahead and I can edit that as well. Product is electronic maybe. And I can even delete what I have created. So this will be getting inside the data. And let me show you. So my mobile, this particular data I have added, and let's check it out if it is added here. Ideally, it should add. Let's see. Okay. Now, why it has not been added? Actually, this data has been taken and it has been added as a table. Okay, Dataverse table it has created. See, product inventory, and it has created a Dataverse table. So I have to show you in the Dataverse table basically. I'll show you the live demo. Don't worry, I have the other example as well. Now, here what I'm talking about is Copilot basically. So Copilot, it will be basically understanding your commands and it will be changing accordingly. Let me do one thing. Let me change this text, I'm just typing here. Can you please change product inventory to product details? look at what happens. Again, guys, it will take some time based on your, again, internet speed as well. Now see here, if you notice, it has changed product details. So as a layman, I just put down that as a command and it has done it for me. So this is what the AI integration they have. So now I can even ask them to change the color as well to purple. So actually it has done it in the background. Basically, it has added kind of a border. So anyways, see guys, again, there's a separate, what you can say, uh, course, I would say, for the co-pilot. So how to put down the prompts and all those. So here, what we are discussing is what are the capabilities. So in real time, we usually don't do the auto created apps because we are a developer, right? These are for the end users. Now let me talk about the app which we can create from scratch. So look at the one of the app which has been automatically created, and let me show you the data as well. So here is my OneDrive, and this is the data I'm having, employee details, and there are some employee data I'm having here. Okay, so Barak, Salim, Yushan, all those data. Now, what I want to do is I already actually created an app, and I'll show you how we can update the data here. So let me close this out and let me run this app. Now I can run it as per my requirement. So see, I have different ways to test it. And once, let's say once I am all good with, I can publish this app. Now, let's say I wanted to update this particular record. So Barak and Barak Salim is there. So I just want to update it. So let's say Barak, let's say Obama. Okay. And I'm just adding up here Bahrain. So I did some changes to our data. I said enter. And this data is getting written to the OneDrive file, which I have just now accessed. So let me refresh and let me show you. The data should be updated. See here, guys, look at the first row. So Barack Obama, and the location is Bahrain. So just now I updated it and it has been available here. Now, similarly, let's do one thing. Um, let me go back. Let me add a new record. So employee number is this. Abdulhafiz. HR is, let's say, Saif. Joining date is this. Okay. And see, guys, I have added some data here. New employee I have added. And now if I want to search that particular employee, Abdulhafiz. See here, it is available and all these details are mentioned. So I can go ahead and check this data in my data source. So if employee details. Now let's check it out where it has been added or not. See here, guys, this has been added. Okay. So safe and whatever the date and whatever the data is, has been available here. Now let's say, let me delete this particular one. So I can go ahead and I can delete it as well. All right. So see, I have deleted that particular employee details, and let's see what happens. I go back, and that should be gone. See here, guys, that particular record is not available. So runtime, it is working basically. Okay. So like this, you can create all beautiful apps. So many things you can do. So as I mentioned, the co-pilot is for the business users. They can do certain steps, but to understand it, you have to have the good knowledge. So in Power Apps, you create the screens, and screens, out of that screen, you can do a lot of customization. So here it is very simple, guys. See, as like the what we can say as like the Excel formulas. We have the formulas here. Let me show you maybe. Let's say I wanted to update this particular one. Here I wanted to showcase last name as well. So what I can do is ampersand space I'm adding and this dot last name I'm adding. Now if you notice, it is coming, it is now showing up the full name of the end user or employee. Now like this I can do a lot of stuff. So let's say I want to change the color of it. So this is what the low code is. So I need not to be very much proficient in the coding and all those, just a simple drag and drop and it is doing it for me. Now, this is the basic example of the Power Apps. You can create beautiful app out of it. So see, this is the one app, what you can say, app I have created. So let's say I want to compare uh, different vendor, coffee machines, and I wanted to order certain coffee machine. So let's say I want to compare this one and with the, let's say this one maybe. Okay. Now again, this is not a complete app. So I have selected two coffee machines. I can compare those. And let's say I can see the details has been showcased here. Let me put down some justification. Please approve. All right. So what I'm doing, guys, this is the application created for the employees. Let's say they wanted to have the coffee machines on their workstations, and that is what they are doing. So they have selected one of the machine and they are submitting it. Now what will happen? From Power Apps, it will go to the manager for the approval. Then based on his approval, it will be what we can say, it will be, if he is approving it, then the model driven app will come into picture and it will be taking the request to the next level. If it is rejected, the other guy will get an email for the same. So this is how end-to-end process happens. Now, Power Apps is the one part. Now, within Power Apps, we have multiple things actually. So let me go ahead and let me talk about them. So the very interesting one is Dataverse. Within Power Apps only, we have that. So let me show you. So Dataverse is like a database. So those who are aware of database, so what we have in database, we have the tables, we have the rows and columns. So similar to that, we have it here. So lot of different tables already been created by default. Like for example, if I wanted to create a system, let's say employee system basically. So it will require employee table, let's say department table, account table, finance table, some table, random tables are there. So all like most of the popular tables are already been created for you. So you need not to create anything extra. So see, account table is there. Let's say contact table is there. So many different tools already been, many different tables already been created for you. Now, if you, let's say, wanted to create your own table, then again, you have option for the same. You can go ahead and you can make use of Copilot. You can just justify what you need and it will create for you. So for example, can you create employee table? Now see the magical part, it will actually understand your prompt or understand your request and it will come up with some solution for you along with the, see guys, along with the data actually. So see how nicely it has created. It's an employee name, email ID, and phone number and department, and it has created a nice relationship as well. Now you can add further columns as well. So can you add address column to employee table? See guys, address column has been added. See how nicely it is doing. Now I can go ahead and I can say save and exit, and so the table has been created. I need not to do anything. So this is based out of AI. I can create my own table as well. So I can go ahead and let's say I don't like or I don't want the standard tables. I want to create my own table. So I can go ahead and I can do that. So I can put down the column name and the lot of different data types actually are available that you can use. So again, we don't have time to like discuss too like many in detail here, but what the idea here is, I can create the tables and all. Now, whatever data I'm getting it from the Power Apps, I can store that in the Dataverse table, okay, and I can create end-to-end application. That is what the idea here is. Now, let me show you account table. Account table has a lot of different columns. Now I can reuse this table. I can reuse all the columns are available here, or I can add my own column. I can use certain part of it. I can create the relationship. So many things I can do within the data verse. Now, what is model driven app? Actually, within Power Apps, there's another one, but as model driven app. So we had a small discussion on the Canvas app. The one which I have shown you is the Canvas app. This one I'm talking about. This one, this one. These are all called as Canvas app. There's another terminology called as model driven app. So what do you mean by model driven app? So again, I don't have the like live demo of it because it's a little tricky to create, but try to understand. Imagine there's an onboarding happening for an employee. So what happens, guys? Let's say interview round one, then if he clears the round one, then round two, then HR discussion, then let's say negotiation, for example, then let's say he's demanding more joining bonus, maybe, then approval needed, then if it is approved, then the onboarding will happen. So there is a process actually, there is a step-by-step process. If this happens, if let's say, give a moment, if give a moment, if this happens, then go to the next step, then go to the next step, then go to the next step. Like that, the stepwise, what you can say, request flow is. Like for example, I requested an mobile in my company, then what will happen? There's a request created, then it will go to the primary approval, then the secondary approval, then it is, let's say, approved, then it will go to the IT department, and from there I need to pick it. So there is a process involved. Now, same thing we can create using the model driven app. So now just what you can say, opposite to what the Canvas app can do, or not opposite, I would say, similar lines. So Canvas app is like user front applications. Like user can view it, user can put down the data into it, but model driven app is for the backend people. So for example, let's say there is an issue. What I do is I raise a request. That request go to the IT department. Now there's a process get involved into it. So that kind of stuff we can do using model driven app. So if you notice, there are steps been like shown here. So if you put down some data, that will go to next step, then again next step. So business process flows been added here in the model driven app. So one of the, again, I would say less popular, to be honest, but more popular is the Canvas app, the one which we have seen. So this is more popular, and the other one is Power Automate. Now let's talk about Power Automate. Now in Power Automate, actually we have two different things. Let's go ahead and let me quickly take you to the PPT. So in Power Automate, we have cloud flows. This one we are discussing right now, cloud flows. And there is a separate tool available called as a Power Automate Desktop. So this is more on the RPA. So I hope you might have heard the word RPA. robotic process automation, RPA. Now, let's say I wanted to put down the data, the example which I have given you. There's an Excel file. I wanted to pull the data from the Excel file, and I wanted to add that data in the system basically. So for that reason, I can go ahead with the RPA. Now, one another, what you can say, example. Let's say I wanted to purchase a mobile, and I wanted to compare that price of the mobile on the different websites. Let's say on the Flipkart, Amazon, Myntra, Paytm, 10 different websites I want to compare the data. So rather than doing that manually, what I can do is I can create an application by using RPA, and it will go to each individual website. It will put down that particular mobile name, and whatever the information or whatever the rate is coming from that website, it will put down into the Excel. So it will work like a robot on your desktop applications basically. Now, coming back to the cloud automation will happen in the cloud environment only. When I say cloud environment, what does that mean? It will happen in the websites. I'll give you a demo, then I think it would be more clear. So actually, in cloud, there are three types: schedule, one is a quick, one is a schedule, and one is the manual one. Sorry. Now, we can connect to the multiple data source here. We can create the approval flows where you can like approve or reject. So many important stuff we can do in the Power Automate. Now let's go ahead and let's talk about it. So let me take you to the Power Automate. Now this is what the environment is. Make.powerautomate.com is the website, and here is my environment. Now there are, as I mentioned, there are two types of major flows: cloud flows and desktop flows. So I don't have any desktop flows added here. I have cloud flows. Now within cloud flows, we have three different flows: automated, instant, and scheduled. What is the difference between these two? So automated is what, let's say, in a folder, or let's say I have, let's say, added some data in the SharePoint. So I'll be demoing you. So when I put down some data, it should go to the approval automatically. So that is what the automated flow is. Okay. Now, the schedule flow is, as I mentioned, let's say at 4 o'clock on Friday, I want email to be triggered to all my teammates. So that I can do with the schedule flows. An instant flow is on a click of a button, then the flow should run. So let me go ahead and let me give you a demo of it. So let me click on, let's say, instant flow. Now guys, I can create the flows by my own, but there's a huge list of the flows available online. So let me show you those. I can make use of Copilot here. Here, I can go ahead and I can ask the Copilot to create a flow for me. Can you create the flow to send an email on Friday for, not let's say, 5 p.m. on every Friday. Something like that I put down, and see, it is trying to read my, what we can say, prompt, and now it has come up with the solution for me. Now I can go ahead and I can put down the, what we can say, the details of it. So let me go ahead. Okay. So let's use this recurrence here. So again, I need to give the permission for my email. This is my email. I have given the permission. So let's create a flow. because it has created a flow for me. Now let's see what is the timing it has put down. So see, look at here, guys, how intelligent it is. So weekly, and then it has put down the Friday, then at the 5 o'clock. 17 is what? 5. Now an email. So what I need to put down an email. So let me put down the email ID first of all. So let's say this is the email ID. And let me put down, please submit your timesheet. Say it's Friday. Submit the timesheet. See guys, what I'm doing is I just added some parameters and let's see what happens. Now my flow is completed, so I need not to do anything. My flow is completed for now. Because it's automated one, I need to first test it manually and let's see what happens. Let's test it. My flow is successfully run. So there are no issues in this. See, it has run and let's see what happens. I should be getting an email off of it. Let's wait for some time. See here guys. Hey, it's Friday, submit the timesheet. See guys, automatic email has been delivered to my Outlook. Okay, now let's go ahead and let's talk about few more in detail. So let me go ahead and let me delete this one. And let me show you what I can do out of it. So see guys, I hope you got an understanding what I can do using flows and how can I do it. So I have shown you by using the what we can say Copilot. Let me use template. So let's say I wanted to get an email. A lot of different templates are available. I can go ahead and I can use the one which I wanted. So let's say I want let's say Teams message on email arrival, or let's say on email arrival. Okay, so there are some templates by default available, or let me talk about Teams messaging. So what I need is when there is an email arrive, I want the Teams message basically. So see, I have chosen it from the template. Let me continue and let's see what happens. Now, this is the flow automatically been created. And I don't want the condition because it has created a condition. If it's true, so what is this condition, guys? So let's say if subject is this, then only post a message. Otherwise, then do some different stuff. So right now, let's not do this. Let's keep it simple. When an email arrives, post a message. So let me put down the details now. So when an email arrives, I don't want the attachment. So there are many actually options available. So I don't wanted to put down all of them. So here I wanted to put down the email address. So let's say this is my email address. And if the email address, if the email is coming from my Gmail ID, look at here guys. So what I'm trying to tell Power Automate is, if my email is coming from datagrafter@gmail to this email ID, again, there are many parameters. I can go ahead and I can use it, but again, we don't have time to discuss all of them. So let me delete all of them. Just quickly, what I'm doing is, a simple two parameters I have taken. If email is coming from this to this particular email ID, then what should be happening? I should be getting a message. So let's say channel, and I'm choosing a channel here. Let's say sales marketing. So see guys, I'm a part of this particular one. So there are multiple channels and I want the message to be put down here. So I have chosen, let's say, let me choose any of it. So sales marketing and general I'm choosing, okay? So let me go ahead and let me do that. Sales marketing, and within sales marketing, general I have chosen, and let me put down some content out of it. Okay, there is an email from client. Okay, so see guys, this is the message I should be getting. Hey, there's an email from client when an email arrives. So I have created a flow. Let's go ahead and let's test it. So I'm saving it. And let's go ahead and let's test it out. So obviously I need to test it manually first. Test. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna be sharing an email. To this email ID. This is my Gmail. Status update. Hey guys, what is the status? So what should happen, guys, when I am sending this email to this email ID, the message should come to the Teams channel. Let's see what happens. So again, guys, it will take some time. So please bear with me. I'll have some time. All right. Here this. It has successfully run, and let's go ahead and let's check it out in see guys, look at here, 12:26. Okay, there is an email from the client. Because again, guys, I'm just the owner and I'm just the like using the particular Teams. That's the reason I'm not getting that pop-up. But just imagine you're working as an entire team and you have the team channel, then it will popping up, you will get the notification and all those. So see, here there is an email from client. Now, this is one of the use case. Let me take you to the next level of it. So let's say there is a, what you can say, let's talk about the very important feature called as approval flows. Now, let me show you what exactly has been created. So when there is an item created inside the SharePoint, I should be getting an email with all the details of the requester, what is the cost and all those. Now, if the cost of the item is more than 100,000, sorry, $100, sorry, 1,000, then there is an approval should be there. And based on the approval, if it is approved from the manager, email should be triggered and the approval message would be there to the end users. If it is rejected, then rejected email would be there. If it is less than $100, sorry, $1,000 or 1,000 rupees, it should be auto approved. Okay, so this is called as a approval flow, and let's see in practical. So here is my SharePoint, and let me add an item here. Let's say mobile, and let's say my mobile. Let me put down the request. So guys, again, you need to design the SharePoint as well. So there's a way you can SharePoint, you can create a form, or you can use Power Apps to integrate with SharePoint, and then you can call the Power Automate flow from there. So multiple things you can do basically. So let me put down some detail here. And here I'm just adding up the cost, let's say 800, which is less than obviously 1000. So I should be automatically getting an approval for the same. So I did this, and let's see what happens. So hold on for some time. Again, as I mentioned, it takes some time based on your multiple factors are there. All right. Meanwhile, I'll read out some comments. Can you integrate with WhatsApp instead of email? What it is possible to send a mobile WhatsApp notification in Power Automate? Can you integrate with WhatsApp? Okay. All right. So again, I need to check, to be honest, if that facility has been added. So see, guys, this all are right now free, okay? So there are two things. Again, allow me some time. I'll explain you a bit on the licensing. So meanwhile, I got an, what you can say, email with all the details. And because it is less than 100,000, sorry, 1,000, let's see what happens to our approval. And if you notice, it is approved automatically. I need not to get into the approvals, automatically approved. Now let's take another example where I'm having the cost more than 1,000. So let's say mobile laptop this time. I can put down any details here. Let me put down my name here. All right. Now estimated cost is, let's say, $1,500. Okay. And I said save. Now this time, what should happen, guys? I should be getting an, what you can say, email, and I should be notified whether to approve or disapprove. Let's see what happens. All right, there's an email. So you see, guys, this is what the details, and now it will again for approval. See, I got a notification as well as I'll get an email as well, because I'm only the sender and I'm only the receiver. That's the reason. Anyways, so I got a pop-up here. So there is a request, and I can go ahead and approve or reject from it. Or else I also got an email here. I can approve or disapprove from here. So there's a request from this guy. Let's say, let me reject it. Let's see what happens. Cost is too much. Have some cheaper laptop maybe. Okay, guys, I'm rejecting this request, and let's see what happens. As a manager, I have rejected it. And see here, I got an email. Your request has been rejected due to over budget. Okay. And this has already been done. Let's go to our this thing. So this one we are discussing. And if I refresh, see guys, rejected due to over budget. So the comment which I have put down is also there in my SharePoint. This is how it works end to end. Again, it's just over time now. Let me quickly give you a little more idea on the Power Pages, and then we will close my discussion and we'll take a few of the questions. So what is Power Pages? One of the another component of Power Platform is creating a website. Like as I mentioned, WordPress and all those where you can design your website. Like there's a Wix, Wix, Wix is there, WordPress is there. So you can create a website in Power BI, Power Platform. Now, what is the use of it? Why you are creating a website? So guys, let's say this Power Apps application, this application is for my internal users. It won't be accessed by the external, obviously. There's a provision actually, but let's say I wanted to display the data of my company to the external users as well. So for that purpose, we can create a website like this. So again, it's very simple and easy to use. So there are certain pages like contact us, home page. You can add your own pages. Then you can again showcase the data from the Dataverse in your website. Now there are many things into it, like security is there, a lot of stuff is there that you can add up here. Okay, so to be honest, it is not that popular. The more popular in Power Platform is obviously Power BI. So Power BI, they have kept it very separately. So let me show you one of the dashboards. So Power Apps is also getting a good market nowadays. You see, nice, beautiful dashboard you can create using Power BI. Power Apps is also getting a very good market nowadays, as I mentioned. And obviously Power Automate is also buzzing in the market. Now let's talk about the career opportunities. Career in Power Platform. So you can see like it's a growing market, to be honest. In the low code, no code world, it is growing actually. Now there are already players in the market. So like for example, in the BI, we are earlier having Tableau and the Click and the Cognos, SAP Business Object, many over there, but Power BI have taken over all of them. Power BI is number one tool nowadays. Power Apps, again, it is growing, as I mentioned. There are already certain tools available in the market, like Appian is there, Mendix is there. So a couple of tools, a couple of players already taken over the market, but it is growing. Similarly, Power Automate is also stepping into the market, and you can go ahead and you can refer to the Gartner rating. Gartner rating for, let's say, Power Automate maybe. Okay. So Gartner is the one of the company which will gonna be giving you idea where the where your tool or where the technology you're working is heading towards. Okay. Just go ahead and just read about what the rating they have given and all those. Now see here, Microsoft is in the leaders now. So earlier, last time when I have seen, it was in the challenges. Now it has taken over the market. Good market actually. UiPath. Then there is a what you can say, Automation Anywhere. These are the UiPath, Automation Anywhere, Blue Prism. There are a couple of players already there in the market, but Power BI, as I mentioned, sorry, Power Automate or Microsoft technologies are getting inside the leaders quadrant now. So there's a good opportunity to get into this because the people comparatively less into it. Okay, so you can go ahead and search for the Naukri.com maybe. This particular link is very good. Here, this guy has explained it very well. What are the opportunities and all those? What you need to do to upskill it, and there's a good demand, to be honest, an increasing demand rather than seeing good demand. It's an increasing demand because the smaller companies are adopting the apps and the automate and all those. All right, guys, I think it's enough from my side. Let's talk about let's take certain questions. So can you integrate with WhatsApp? So let me check. I haven't done it. Guys, again, to be honest, as I mentioned, the one which I am showcasing is just what we can say, the standard apps, standard plugins available. Yes, it is there, man. Okay, button and send a WhatsApp template message. But I think again, you need to check if it is a paid or free. Okay, so that is the important one. Now, let me take the questions from these. And if the bigger application needs a traditional coding, then what is the best about low code and no code? So see, again, Abdul Khalil, the low code and no code is not for the like a very big application. It is for like the simple application which can be helpful in the daily work. Okay, so like you cannot create a website like Amazon where it is handling huge data. So you cannot create that in the Power Apps or Power Pages. Yeah, the recording would be available. So the message which you have received, it has the recording link. Thank you, Abu. I have a file uploaded to SharePoint every day. I wanted a copy of that cloud account as soon as uploaded can use the. It should be, it is possible, but again, you need to check, Shahid, whether it requires a premium license or not, because the there are only standard connections available for free. Like SharePoint, you can connect for free. Excel file, you can connect for free. OneDrive, you can connect for free. Then again, I need to check, or you can also check whether the Azure Cloud Storage account is free or not. So D, I already answered you. So WhatsApp notification is possible. I have already like shown you. You can go to template and you can put down what you want, and it will showcase. Again, if it is paid, it will like put down that. How can we connect with you? Okay, so I'm sharing my LinkedIn profile. You can reach out to me over the LinkedIn. Here is my LinkedIn profile. I receive email with attachment. I want to download the attachment and upload it to the. Yes, we can do that. So actually, again, to be honest, we have less time. Otherwise, I would have shown you that particular one. I have done it. So similar to that, not the one which you are talking about. So you can save the attachment to OneDrive. So let me show you maybe. See one of the other one, saving attachment to OneDrive. So what will happen if an email with then attachment, then that attachment you can save it on the OneDrive or whatever location or whatever the application you want to save it. So see here, let me show you that as well. So here in the OneDrive, not here. Just see, these are all the what you can say attachments. There was an email, and from email I have taken this particular one. Okay. So it is possible actually in simple words. What next is okay. So Saibhai has already put down that in the chat window. You wanna go ahead with the recording? It is there. If an app create an app, how can I share with what is the deployment process? Okay. So again, there's a license part comes into the picture. So let's say this is the app I have created. I can publish it. Here it is published, and then again it's based on the license. So licenses are like per app license, $5. Actually, to be honest, the license is a little tricky. Maybe give me a moment. So it's a very tricky and a lot of confusion in the license, to be honest, and they keep upgrading the license. So in simple word, I will let me put down that in a simple word maybe. So per app license is there. So see here, it's a huge list of licenses they have given. what you can do, what else, what are the applications available. But to make it simple, what you can do is, so Power Apps, per app license is there. So one app can be used multiple times, okay? Or there's another license called as a per user. Now this user, a single user, can use multiple apps. Okay, there is a difference. One app can be used by multiple users because it's a per app license. Per user is one user can use multiple apps. Like that, there are few other app what I can say licenses are there. So this is the app license. This is a standard license as well. So for example, I wanted to connect with SQL Server. I cannot do that for free. For SQL Server, I need to purchase a license. So either of this license or this license I need to have. Then I can only connect to the premium license. I think I have the PPT on the same. Give me a moment. Again, taking to the PPT is again a very big time. So a lot of things. So look at here. Standard connectors are free. So as I mentioned, the SharePoint, OneDrive, they are free. Premium connectors are paid. So you will find the diamond icon. Per app license is $5 for a one app, one user for 1 month. $10 for the additional app. Premium license, $20. Unlimited app for one user. Okay. Unlimited app for one user. So in that you will get 500 AI builder services as well. So as I mentioned, right, AI where it can be helpful to to read the objects, to put down the fetch the data from the physical copies, put down in the system and all that. Sharing, as I mentioned, again, there are many ways of sharing it. So I can share as a user, co-user, co-owner. I can make the other guy owner. Multiple ways of sharing it. All these Power App services are free. Okay, so as I already given the answer, it's some of them, the basic ones are free. So it is good for learning. Like SharePoint, you can connect, OneDrive and all those you can connect. That you can go ahead with. Freelance opportunities. To be honest, there are, but freelance word is, to be honest, getting very bad nowadays. Like few days back only, I was talking to one of my friend and we were discussing about the same thing. So Upwork and all those, they allow the freelance opportunities, but in India, the market is very bad because people are quoting very less amount. It's like degrading your own moral, you can create a dashboard within just hardly 10,000 rupees or 5,000 rupees, right? So market is very bad, to be honest. Yeah, if you are getting good connections, then go ahead with that.
People can unmute yourself and if you want to ask any question, you can also unmute yourself and ask any question.
So when you are using, sorry, this is Shahid Akhtar. When you are using any kind of premium service with respect to connectors, will it only be applied for Azure Cloud or Microsoft, or can it also be applied like other clouds like AWS, GCP?
Okay, so the question is, let's say you wanted to purchase a per user license. Is that
Yeah, if I go with the premium service, in case of like, do we even have? I am not worried about the cost or licensing, but do we have connections with respect to other cloud services like AWS or Azure? Maybe it is under
obviously it
different
should
license.
be? It is part of Microsoft family, so it should be there. So see, what you're talking about is Azure, right?
AWS and GCP,
Yes.
Azure Web Services and GCP, Google Cloud.
Okay, just go ahead and search for it. It is, if you go to the Power Apps, make.powerapps.com, in the connection you will find it, which are all them are available. So if you notice, if premium is there, then you have to have the license for the same.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Any more question?
Yeah, this is Imtiaz Ahmed.
Yes, Imtiaz, go
So
ahead.
those who are working already in enterprise companies, like I am working with CTS. So we will be having all the licenses, I hope, because I have not tried.
Okay.
So we can start.
It is not, see, again, if it is, even if you are working for Cognizant or any company, so see, first of all, check it out whether you are given the access of it. Even if it is free, companies do not give it directly to the end user. So first of all, you have to request them. Okay. Or simply go ahead and to this particular make.powerapps.com, sign in with your official credentials. If it is allowed, then well and good. Otherwise, you can request your IT team to give you the access. Okay. Then you can access the standard free version of it, like Google Drive, you can access for free, and then you can learn it. Okay.
Got it. Sure, we'll try that. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I have one quick question. So if I create one Power App and I want to share it with others, not limited to the users which are within my office, or like using the same Office 360, how can I do this? Can I do it or not? That's my first question.
Come again. Your voice was breaking up in between. Go ahead, please.
So
Hello.
if I create a Power App and I like
I'm not sure.
using mobile now. So can I do this with users which are not organization?
Your voice is breaking. I didn't hear that well. But what I understand is, can we use the Power Apps on the mobile? Yes, we can use it. Even we can use Power Automate as well. If you go to Play Store, you have the application to download. But obviously, you cannot develop anything. You can just say approval. You can just approve it, or you can just what you can say, schedule it. That's it. That is what you can do. You can view this particular app on your mobile. Okay. Any more question, guys? It's over time. Actually, it's maximum 1 hour has been given. Share with the user outside my organization. Yes, you can share it. Again, what you need to do is you need to have the license for them. They have to be there in your Active Directory, your company's Active Directory. So, for example, I wanted to share my any. See, it is applicable for all of them: Power Automate, Power Apps, Power BI, anything. So, what you can do is, if you want to share this with the people outside your organization, first thing, they have to have the license. Second thing, they have to be present in your company's Active Directory. Okay. I hope that answers your question. Yeah, thank you so much. All right, guys, I think it's too much of time, and I hope you learn something new, you understand it, and do connect with me if you require to. Maybe I'll be starting Power BI batch soon. Okay, so if you wish, you can enroll for the same. Thank you so much, everyone. It's been a pleasure to have you all here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.